Hey, today I'll be addressing the research question, how do autosomal and sex-linked inheritance differ? For simplicity's sake, we will only be discussing autosomal recessive inheritance and X-linked recessive inheritance. But first, let's define inheritance. Inheritance is the process by which genetic information can be passed on from parent to offspring. Inheritance is the reason members of the same family possess similar traits. Every cell in the human body usually has 46 chromosomes that decide the traits of that person. These 46 chromosomes are split into 23 pairs, 22 autosomal pairs, and 23rd pair being the one that decides the offspring's sex. During reproduction, reproductive cells or gametes are used that only contain 23 chromosomes, one from each pair. The 23 paternal chromosomes combine with 23 maternal chromosomes to create the 46 chromosomes for the offspring. We separate inheritance into autosomal inheritance and sex-linked inheritance because the way inheritance works in the 23rd pair actually differs from the other 22 pairs. Let me explain. For autosomal chromosome pairs, the paternal and maternal chromosomes are equal, so it doesn't differ whether you inherit the trait from your mother or your father. Here's an example of a Punnett square showing the inheritance for cystic fibrosis, a recessive genetic trait that affects the movement of salt and water in and out of cells. We'll take lowercase f to represent the mutated gene and a capital F to represent the healthy gene. So here, each parent has one copy of the mutated gene and one copy of the healthy gene, making them heterozygous. They each pass down a random gene. And the Punnett square shows us the possible genomes of the offspring. Since cystic fibrosis is a recessive trait, for it to be displayed, the offspring needs to inherit both affected genes, meaning even though there's a 3 in 4 chance of inheriting the gene, there's only a 1 in 4 chance of displaying the gene. Offspring with heterozygous combination become carriers and are able to pass down the gene but aren't affected by it. There's a 1 in 4 chance that the trait is not inherited at all. However, inheritance works differently in the 23rd pair, as depending on the sex of the offspring, they may have a different chance of displaying a certain gene. This is because males and females inherit a different combination of sex chromosomes. Two types of sex chromosomes are X and Y chromosomes. The combination of two X chromosomes creates a female human, while inheriting an X and a Y chromosome creates a male. A mother will always give an X chromosome because she only has X chromosomes to give, while the father is able to pass down either an X or a Y chromosome, meaning the sex of the child is decided by the paternal gene. Since the X and Y chromosomes are different, they contain different genes. This means that male and female offspring do not have the same chance of inheriting sex-linked traits, or, at the very least, of displaying them. Right now, we'll look into X-linked recessive traits, and won't be diving into Y-linked traits. Let's take red-green color blindness as an example. Here's a Punnett square that shows the genomes of both parents. We'll take lowercase b to represent color blindness, and a capital B to represent a healthy gene. The mother here is heterozygous, meaning she carries one healthy gene and one affected gene. Since the gene for color blindness is recessive, the mother is unaffected. But for males it's different. Since they only inherit one X chromosome, that gene will be displayed whether or not it is recessive. There's still a 50% chance of displaying the trait for males and females, but an unaffected female will still be a carrier like the mother. Now, I have designed a model to help you understand these concepts. It's a GitHub page you can access with the link provided. Upon opening the website, you'll be greeted with 3 inputs. First, you'll enter paternal gene. If you're looking for autosomal inheritance, you can enter both letters. If you're looking for X-linked inheritance, you only enter one letter, the genome, which is associated with the X chromosome. Then do the same for the mother, but add 2 letters in both cases, and make sure to only use the letter A, or it won't work for everything. Always use the letter A, capital or lowercase. Finally, check the box if you want it to be autosomal inheritance and leave it unchecked for X-linked. Then, press submit and you will receive all the possible genotypes with their likelihood, the associated phenotypes, and other details. You can also click the instructions button for more instructions. That's all.